Can God create a stone or a rock which is so heavy that God himself cannot lift? This is a confusing question that a lot of time people ask to confuse people, or also to create doubt in the mind or hearts of people about the existence of God. And it is also very simple to answer, but at the same time it could be confusing for someone who is not really familiar with the attributes of God or the existence of God, or someone whose belief in God is very weak. So one way to understand the answer to this question, and also by an Islamic perspective, I'll try to give the answer, and I'm pretty sure by the will of God and by the will of Allah that anybody who has really open mind will be satisfied with this answer, and there will be no need to answer it any further. First thing, we have to keep in mind that God himself is beyond our imagination, is beyond our comprehension. We as human beings do not have enough capability or brain or understanding in this life that we cannot comprehend the nature, the being of God. We only know about God as much as God has himself told us about himself through his chosen people. Those are his prophets. So, in other words, a simple example, just like a bacteria or a very small object, a virus or an ant or something very insignificant, electron or proton, if they will try to somehow try to imagine or try to understand the nature of human beings or what human beings are, so they don't have that much understanding or ability to understand human beings. They do not have that much comprehension. Their brain or their intelligence is not that much that they be able to do so. It's just like human beings are the ones who invented the computers by using the brain that God has given us. We created or invented the computers. No computer, only, no matter how much super computer it is, it only knows as much as we as humans put the information inside or feed the information inside the computer. So the computer itself does not have enough ability or understanding or brain to start reasoning the human beings, who human beings are and what they are, what their capabilities are. So, in other words, it's very clear that we, as a creation, we cannot comprehend the Creator. He is beyond our comprehension. There is nothing like Him. There is no similarity of Him in this world. We only know about God as much as He has told us about Himself. So, we know that God has many attributes, and God also, being all-powerful and being able to do whatever He wants to, whenever He wants to, as it is said in the Holy Quran, Ba'da a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Inna Allaha ala kulli shay'in qadir. The meaning of which is, undoubtedly, there's not even a hair doubt that God, Allah, is able to do whatever He wants to. As a matter of fact, there is another verse of the Holy Quran, the meaning of which is, just like for us this blink of an eye, If God wanted to make something to happen, within that, even that blink and of eye, the time that took, God can do it even less than that if He wants to make something to happen. In less than time that will take by us blinking that eye. So God can do whatever He wants to, whenever He wants to, and however He wants to. So we have to understand that these attributes that God has introduced to us about Himself, His different attributes, now God also has complete control over His attributes. It's not that those being God, those now His attributes are beyond His control. That would be also ungodly for Him not having the control over His abilities. It would be really not the powers of God. If power is something that a person or some object is able to control it, if a person or an object or God Himself is not able to control the power, that means it's not really the all-powerful, that person, or that power is not really the power. It's just happening without his or her control. So God, being the powerful, all-powerful, and being the creator of this universe and everything, He has full control over His attributes. So He can also has the power to reduce His attributes towards us to whatever level He wants to. Like we know, for example, God is all merciful. He is merciful upon us, and He's forgiving. He likes to forgive. Now at the same time, God has an attribute where He will punish us for our wrongdoings. But if the attribute of God of punishing us was also at the same level as being merciful, then maybe none of us would be able to go into heaven because of our sins, because of our wrongdoings. God would never forgive us because His attribute of being giving us the punishment would be more stronger and more, it will take over, and God will throw us in the hellfire. But because God is very merciful and loving to us, and He took upon Himself, He took the mercy upon Himself, overpowered it more than the quality, the attribute of punishment. So therefore, He is going to be more merciful to us and be forgiving to us in different situations, depending on a person's situation. So, coming back to the question, is the main question that we're trying to answer is, if God can create such a rock, it can be so heavy that He Himself cannot pick it, or He Himself cannot carry it. So we know that God has the attribute of being the creator. He is the creator of each and everything, each and every object in this universe. And we also know that God has the power of being powerful. He is qawi, He is very strong. He is more stronger than beyond our imagination. Same time, He is a creator beyond our imagination. So let's say if He wants to make His attribute of being the creator more powerful, and then His attribute of being qawi, as being strong. So that particular attribute will allow God to make such a rock to so heavy that no one will be able to pick, or no one will be able to carry, because He has made the rock, He has made His attribute of being qawi, the strong, He has made it less stronger, it's not at the same level right now as being His attribute of being the creator. So now, at the same time, if we take the opposite to this, that okay, God did create the rock which no one can lift. Now if God makes his attribute of being powerful or being qawi more stronger than the attribute of being creator, now for him to carry that rock or to pick up that rock is as easy as picking up a feather or something even less than that. So there won't be even any problem to pick that rock for God. So now we completely understand that God has the attributes, that he has complete control over those attributes, and if he wants to make his attribute of being creator more stronger, more powerful than the attribute of being stronger, then he can make a rock which no one can lift it. And at the same time, now if he makes his attribute of being strong more powerful than being the creator, if he decides to do so, then he can also pick up that rock. So nothing is, in other words, nothing is impossible, nothing is difficult for God. God can do whatever he wants to, whenever he wants to, however he wants to. And again, this is just we as a human being, we do not have that comprehension. At the same time, if we ask God for guidance, of course God will guide those who have the desire to be guided. We have to create this desire in us to guide, for God to guide us, and ask God for guidance. And he loves to guide, and that's what he wants to do. He wants us to be on the right path and do the right things. But we have to first of all create a zeal in us, desire in us to be guided by God. May God give us the ability to understand what I said, and also ask God for guidance, and so that we can be successful not only in this life, in the life hereafter also. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.